Welcome.
Yeah,
to
you go.
Recovering. Oh, we're gonna do it at the same time.
What-
Welcome to Recovering Addict.
Yes.
Our synchronization skills are off point.
We didn't discuss that before either.
No.
That
Should have came up with
bungled.
a game plan. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Recovering Addict. There we go. I'm Jake. I'm a recovering substance user.
I'm Felice. I'm married to LT, who is a substance user. I'm here for codependency issues, co-addiction issues, or whatever else you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, I have a long history of trauma, drug addiction, counseling.
You guys can see that it says no card in camera.
Can they?
I don't know how to fix it.
I think we have to put a card in it.
We're supposed to put a card in it. We mostly got it. We did fairly decent. We don't.
Oh, he did even pop up. Look, that's him.
Yeah,
right there.
He's
no
telling
card
us that we're
camera.
idiots.
The lighting looks great, though.
Yeah, the lighting's on point.
Yes. So, yeah, I totally forgot my intro from the other night. I messed that up.
He said put a card in it. You didn't tell me where those are. Jake to the rescue. Bum, bum, bum.
My knees hurt.
Old man Jake to the rescue.
I'm on a roof all day.
While you're looking for a card, I'm going to tell everybody hi.
Look at this thing.
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah.
you saw it already.
That's so cool.
Look, I'm going to show it off.
Boom, Mike. Boom ski. That's what that is. All right. And we got a new winner, Desmond. Good day, everyone. Hi, Desmond. Who else? Marilyn, I seen you in there.
I didn't bring the other camera, so I can't even pull.
Hey, Marilyn.
There.
Hey, Shondia.
Found one.
Hey, found one. The suspense is killing me. It was killing us also. Just sitting here, just waiting, twiddling our thumbs.
Yep.
I'll be back shortly after this commercial break. Welcome to Recovering Addict.
Hey!
Hey, ta-da! Fixed it.
Apologies.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Looks good. Who else? Matt is in the house. Sean. Michelle Pelvin. Martin. Just kidding. Mark, what's up? Steve.
I can't tell the story, but he really, I was laughing for like 10 minutes from an exchange that we had earlier today. I'll tell you.
You and Steve or you and Leonard?
Merk.
Oh, Merk. Okay.
I'm going to share. I'm going to share if that's okay, Merk, in secret, privately, offline, because that was hilarious.
Oh, look, back on the computer.
Amex?
Found it.
Who's back on the computer?
That's where the card was. He told us. I just found it. What's up, Emily? Yes, you can see it. We don't talk about that. Hey, Epi. It is the F and J show.
Talk about what?
The card. Swipe. The error. Insert card now. Go. Hey, Allie. Good to see you.
Allie.
Yay,
that is an awesome picture of her.
Yeah, she's got them eyes that pop. Jealous.
Correct.
I was telling Millie how cool it would be to have one blue eye and one brown eye.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
What is that called? There's a name for that.
It's called freakishly cool and awesome. What's up, Brian? Jake, you're a star.
Star, yes.
Aw.
Oh, look, that's the top search
hey,
result, too. Heterochromia iridium.
Yeah, I want that. That's one thing I would like to have. That'd be so cool. All right, we got Nicole. Hello, everyone. I'm Nicole, and I'm an addict, and I've been having
hell of a time lately ever since my fiance died 2 months ago in her house fire.
Oh.
I did not read that with the proper reference. I'm sorry to hear that.
You read it like, ooh, but that's really devastating. Tell us how you've been coping. Kind of curious, because that would be hard to cope with. Yeah, so tonight, get back to us on that, Nicole. You guys get to hear Jakey's story last week. Last week? 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago. Last week was canceled because of that transformer explosion.
Yeah.
Like,
that's gross. I have a brown eye. Hey guys.
is he?
Hey Lish. We all have brown eyes. Sorry to hear that, Nicole. That's sad. So tonight we're gonna hear from Jake. Y'all heard my story and all of that jazz, and now we get to learn about Jake tonight.
I'm a little messed up. We'll just open with that, but working on it, cleaning it up. So, my life's been pretty intense.
Like a circus fire.
Yeah, like when I was, so there was a lot of domestic violence in my home growing up. I saw uh, a lot of violence. I got a lot of whoopings. Most of them I did things to deserve, but not to. I don't know. Anyway, that's so there's a lot of domestic violence. I felt a lot of. Hold on. So I grew up in an addicted home. My father was an alcoholic. There was a lot of domestic violence, and then so dealing with that, um, I was violent as well, looking for attention. Um, I would get in fights with my sisters, and then like that sort of transferred over into school. Like I sort of felt like a pariah um, in my household because I was like pretty chaotic growing up in elementary school, and then in school I was the nerd kid. I liked playing trading card games. You know, pick one. Anyone. I probably played it, and so that further disconnected me from society. Made me sort of a target by other kids. I was a victim of bullying consistently in high school, elementary school, middle school, and then on into high school, to a point that my freshman year of high school, I was actually planning a school shooting because of how poorly that I was treated by other students. That didn't happen because I found marijuana when I was 14, and a man who I consider to be one of my brothers, first and foremost, met him and met weed and found a group where I could be accepted for, who I was. It wasn't out of the norm to, skip an entire day of school, get super stoned, and then just go play trading card games in one of my buddy's basements, So think about the way that you treat people, and it gets pretty bad. But it also moved into like the lack of acceptance, the lack of a social connection. I was sort of preconditioned by society, by my peers, to become the perfect prey for a sexual predator, and went through 3 years of sexual abuse. Just the way that kids at school, male and female, It made me feel this man was able to utilize that and convince me that I was deserving of, like, I wasn't going to get any sexual contact otherwise. Like, manipulated my mind, manipulated my self-esteem so that I was like not just a victim, but got to a point where I was a willing participant, and I had to it really messed up my sexual identity um, for a long time. But he had me convinced that he would kill my family if I ever said anything. So when I finally did say something at 17, I thought that he was going to murder my family and he was going to murder me. And I took to the streets in an attempt to protect myself. And in a twisted 17-year-old, almost 18-year-old brain, I was protecting my family. But then the nightmare started, and the hypervigilance, and not knowing how to cope with any of that. I just ran and I ran and I found meth, because if you don't have to sleep, you don't have to deal with nightmares. You don't have to deal with anything. And my maelstrom of a mind, it created some rather serious situations where I was essentially a bag whore. Um, it happened in high school, so it wasn't a big leap to, you know, go and get my drugs from homosexual drug dealers. And I had to deal with a lot of, like, I didn't know if I was gay. I didn't know if I was straight. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew is that I was high, and when I was high, I didn't have to feel anything, and I could just carry on with life. And things got pretty scary there for a while. I was in and out of jail. I spent more time behind bars between 2000 and 2012 than I did on the streets, as a result of everything. I didn't care. I hurt a lot of people along the way. Um, I just, it's bad, you know, like, the way that we treat people is important. Because you never know how it could affect them. You know, you don't know. You don't know, like, that kid you used to push into a locker. I am, oh my God, it is an act of will not to start cussing. I just want everybody to know I'm trying really hard not to say the other words that I like to use so frequently. Um, but just really be aware of how you treat people. Treat people accordingly.
Yeah, you don't know what people are going through. For
Like,
sure.
you know, I was fully prepared to go and murder people at my high school. Like, marijuana does save lives. Like, I can tell you that. Like, just because somebody wants to sit and play card games instead of throw a football, it doesn't mean you get to treat them like garbage. Just because they don't have the nice clothes, or wear glasses or have braces or any of that stuff, it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. But Most of my graduating classes in prison are sex offenders, so that's cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
There's just that whole class group then, huh?
Yeah.
I'll just.
Not all of them. That was a very
What school
generalized
did you go
statement.
to?
We don't need to discuss that.
Is it around here?
Yeah, but
Ooh,
so I had a series of failed relationships. Um, my trauma, like eventually, my perpetrator did go to prison. He spent 10 years in prison. Um,
that's good.
yeah, it sometimes is a struggle to not look him up on the registry and go handle business, but my children are more important than like some kind of weird revenge story. And it's something that I'm working through in counseling as well. But
Is it like, is deep down, are you like terrified of that happening to your kids?
yes, yes, I have a hypersensitivity towards threats against my children, against my family. Um, I that's I don't I just I want to preserve Drake's innocence. You know, that's why I don't um, yeah, we listen to rap music sometimes, but if it's like really nasty message, like no, I don't like. I I I I like the fact that Drake wants to watch Pokemon. I like that he wants to watch Kipo.
Yeah,
You know, I like that he wants to watch like he watches some shows. And I'm just like, oh, this show is annoying. It's
but
you
it's
know,
better than the
but
alternatives out there.
and that's what like I'll watch some violent stuff. Like we watch John Wick, but while it's violent, it's not gory.
Right.
You know, like you're not seeing people disemboweled or anything. You know, I don't. So it's like I don't watch anything that with him that that would portray like intense drug use or like depictions of mental illness or any sexual content, any like definitely not going to watch a Clockwork Orange with Drake.
I never seen that.
uh,
I'm assuming don't
well
watch it with
the
your
internet
children.
knows Clockwork Orange no good.
Do not watch with children.
Yeah,
Parental advisory.
yeah, but I just don't do. I want to protect him. I want him to have a childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I work so hard. Is well, for myself, my recovery, that's important. But I want Drake to like be okay. I want
Mm-hmm.
Cameron to be okay. I want my other son to be okay, regardless of how he feels about me. I want him to be okay. I want my oldest daughter to be okay. Like her and her brother, they're not fans of mine right now because of their trauma, because of things that they are being manipulated with. And Zuplink.
Hey, bub. You guys want this? Is that what you came up here for? No. Oh, usually that's what you want. Do you want to take it to her?
Yeah.
Thanks, bud.
So like I had a series of failed relationships, just to move right back into it.
So this is after high school.
Yeah, after high school. I turned 18 in 2004, and by 2005 I had a felony for retail theft. 34.
Me too. When's your birthday?
July 7th.
Oh, November.
I'm older.
85.
Wait, am I older? No,
86.
I'm younger.
You're a baby. Baby Jake.
Baby. But
I was like, I graduated 04.
Yeah, but I had a felony in 2005, and then I had another felony in 2006, and like I had 14 arrests, 14 convictions by the time 2012, right? And
Our friend Jim Miller says you deserve a lot of respect for telling your story. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jimmy. Good to see you on here.
Thank you. Prison was comfortable.
How old are you now in prison?
2006, 19.
Yeah. Okay.
19 when I fished in 2006, 40538 is my hard number. But I spent 2 years in prison for a pair of shoes and a bicycle.
That you stole?
Yeah.
What kind of shoes were they?
Chuck Taylors.
Like,
I didn't go to anything. I didn't go to prison for anything cool.
That's crazy. You went to prison for Chuck Taylors and a bike.
Yeah, it's a three strike enhancement, but it's like prison was detention in high school. Detention was my safe place because I was on truancy court because I was sloughing school a lot, and if I skipped 1 hour of school in a week, I would do the weekend in detention. And I think subconsciously, I didn't care because I was able to go to jail and not, because I was actually living with my perpetrator for a while. I stole my dad's truck one night, and this dude manipulated my family into letting me move into his house. And so I was actually living with this dude, and he was supplying weed and alcohol and, like pornography and everything else. And so it was a big thing. But where was I?
You're in prison.
So yeah, I was in prison at like 19, and like it was safe, it was comfortable. Like it wasn't even the structure, it was just the box, and I spent a lot of time behind bars, just doing months, doing years, doing, like, and then I'd get out and I try to do good, and I would just like relapse, and I lived on the street out of a backpack for a year, just doing everything I could to stay high, and my trauma would just keep me doing the same behaviors. And then I met my children's mother, 2011, after I did I spent 60 days in solitary confinement for 2 fights. I was very violent in jail, very angry. So, like, actually, that 2 months in solitary, when I was in a room by myself for 2 months, pacing 18 hours a day, 6 by 12. That's how big those rooms are. Like, I calculated that. I had enough time to, 18 hours a day. It was actually the most clear my thinking had ever been. Sensory deprivation chamber is what that was, essentially. But I was really violent. I didn't take any shit. I also had enough sense to, like, not join any clubs. My mom, who I respect very much for her journey, she told me, don't join any clubs while you're in prison. Like, don't do it. Like, I'll be very disappointed if you join a club. And I actually I got into a fight and was approached by someone in one of the clubs, and made him laugh because he was like, what do you think about prospect? And I'm like, someone who outranks you told me not to. Oh, who's that? Like, my mom. My mom told me, no, don't do it. And so that was an interesting experience. Like, that dude, that dude is the business. Like, he he's doing big things now in the recovery world. Like I'm not even gonna bring him up, like say his name or nothing, but he's doing big things in the
That's
recovery
cool.
world, and I think that was awesome.
That's very cool.
That was awesome. But um, like so prison became just don't do drugs, don't borrow anything, don't steal anything, don't mess with another man's man. Like rules to live by, right? Basic, simple.
Mm-hmm.
Do these things, you'll be all right. Oh, and then if anybody calls you a punk, you just throw hands, whether you win or lose. You just make sure you're ready to throw fists at each other. And so prison was easy. Prison was easy. Like I got out of prison, and then I realized how much prison affected me. Like when I was start to get really anxious, I would have to hide in the bathtub,
Hmm.
like go sit in the bathroom because it was small.
Like just the world was overwhelming,
Like
or
really
I just need
anything,
to get away.
like just I just spent a lot of time in the bathroom, like whether I was using or not. Like there was actually I had a ritual, like when I was using, that I would go sit in the bathroom, and that's where I would do my drugs.
Hmm.
It was in the bathroom because it felt safe,
Right.
and then when the few times that I was able to put a whole bunch of time together, the bathroom just became a safe place. Like I actually slept in the bathtub for a while, because I could lock the door, and there was just that like institutionalized thing. Like now nope, no more locked doors. I don't want it. I don't want to be in the bathroom. I don't want to be in the bathtub unless I'm taking a bath. And so like the last time I did a stretch of time was in 2010. I did 8 months on a year. In that 8 months, I got into 6 fights, and 2 of those months I spent in PI. So I was very angry. Um, Shortly after that, I went out and I got high, and I was running and gunning, living on the streets again. And I met my kid's mom.
How old are you now?
Um,
Is this 2010?
2011.
Okay.
So 26.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
old's Drake? Drake is 8. 2012. 34. Yeah, like 26, 26, 27. And I met her, and I thought her kids were great. Like her kids were great. Her kids loved me. I wasn't the typical junkie. Like yeah, I did a lot of stupid stuff, trying to get drugs, but I never not once like got high around the kids, or like introduced any drama to the kids. And we really I don't know. She told me she didn't even like me. Like she didn't even like me, but like the kids were all about me, and that's why she gave me that chance. And like we built a life together, and then it just sort of escalated into I didn't realize, but we got clean and sober, moved into a Winnebago, moved into a basement apartment, moved into another basement apartment, moved into a house, and so it was good. And like I didn't want to be high anymore. I didn't want to do drugs anymore. She did 2 months in jail. There was a DCFS case. They took the kids from her because we were both using, and so we fought really hard to get the kids back. Um, During that DCFS case, we had Drake, and like that's like that period of time, like I really got serious and just white knuckled it, and just trying to get over stuff. But then I never dealt with my trauma from a kid when I was a kid, and when I would get like really overwhelmed or really stressed, I would go relapse and resort to go back to some old behaviors, namely I would get high and then go and hang out with homosexual drug dealers and shit. So that's how my trauma would reenact itself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it was always very frustrating. Like, I know today that I'm not gay, and that was just a manifestation of trauma with those behaviors. But I was never allowed to feel like a person in that relationship. Um, I was always shamed. I was always put down. I was always made to feel less than. I was a possession. I was a financial plan. I just always wanted to be a dad, and I was never. I don't feel like I ever had like a real support system, other than the attempts that my children would make to support me emotionally. Like I really connected with my kids deeply. Um, yes, I would relapse and they would get super mad at me,
Right.
but like it took a long time to build those relationships, and like I would relapse and disappear for a few days because I'm not going to get high around the kids. I'm so it was a lot of turmoil. Um, Anybody that thinks that men can't be the victim of abuse, grown men can't be the victim of abuse, you're kidding yourself. Really, I would have much preferred to that hands be thrown at me consistently than the emotional and mental torture that I had to deal with. Gaslighting is a real thing. When you are convinced that your memories are false and doubt every thought in your head, like that's hell. Like you can't trust that you made eggs the day before. You can't trust that you wore blue socks on a Tuesday.
Because they're like, they were green socks.
They were green socks,
Like, no, they were blue. No, they were
like
green socks. Were they green socks?
like abuse happens to men too, you know. And I've had to deal with a lot of stuff. I've had to overcome quite a bit, but then um had a few more relapses. She kept letting me come back. Um I was still shamed. It was always well, remember what you did 3 years ago, or stuff like that. And I didn't have the self image or the self esteem at that time to like really believe that I deserved more than what I had as far as that relationship. Um, I always felt really small, and I relapsed in 2017 while we were moving. That was stress related. Um, and she dropped me off at my mom's house, told me I was a punk and that I wasn't going to see my kids anymore. So, like, after I stopped headbutting the concrete basement floor, sleeping on a shitty beanbag, screaming, fighting demons coming down off of a pretty significant meth bender, um, I was able to get my stuff and get set up in my mom's basement. and like went to counseling, like contacted a counselor, and like still like went to this counseling appointment um like a couple of days later, like still coming down off of meth, and like got really serious. And I've just been on like a self-improvement thing. I have relapsed a few times since 2017, my most recent being February of this year, but it just keep going. Like you relapse, you fall down, you just keep going. Oh look, it's Cassie time.
It is Cassie time, so we're going to put a pin in it. We'll get back to that.
Oh,
And
I just heard your story, a little bit of it. I'm praying for you. You got this. You are strong. It's all you, and God's never going to give you too much that you can't handle. So you got this. Yay. Okay.
there we
Where's my cousin? I gotta ask. When I don't see his face, I get a little panicky.
go. He's working. He's
Okay, he's working.
He's at action tonight.
Okay,
They
so
switched
is
it
that
from Tuesdays to Thursdays.
okay? That's what it is. Okay, got it. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Okay, so here's my quote, Miss Felice, and it kind of matches with the story that we were just hearing, so it's kind of good. So,
Nice.
not all storms come to disturb your life. Some storms come to clear your path.
Ah, I do like you.
Yay!
Bum.
Ting!
Ting! Love
We
it.
got it. We got it, Felice.
Oh, look who's back.
Okay,
No,
so
I
you
do
heard
like
me right.
that.
You're definitely in my prayers. Okay,
Thank you.
you got this. You got this. All right. So let's bring it together, and we're gonna continue to spread that love.
Boom, boom,
Yay!
boom.
Love you guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Love you too.
All right. Good night.
Good night. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Clearing your path.
everything happens the way it's supposed to. But so I eventually reconnected with my kid's mom as I was going to counseling. It was interesting. You know that song "Escape" by Do You Like Pina Coladas?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that I actually, there was a real life that actually happened to me. I responded to an ad on Craigslist, and it was my kid's mom.
No way.
Yeah,
I don't even know that happens in real life.
like
Only you.
it was weird. Like it was super weird.
Like,
Like we reconnected over Craigslist, and there was like a 3-week like email exchange, and like I got to see like a different side of her, and she got to see a different side of me, and like was not expecting. Like I sort of figured it out. There was a lot of signs, and I figured it out early, but she was definitely surprised when I showed up to the motel, and so we reconnected and went about it, and like it.
so you're still going to counseling at this time?
I'm still going to counseling at this time,
and you've reconnected.
and we've reconnected. There was a domestic violence situation when I hit her one day. We got into like a really nasty fight. There's just it was a trauma event. I started feeling super weak, made to feel small again, and like I don't know, it went bad, and so I had to keep going to counseling, and then I like paid for a lawyer, and you know we did reconnect again after that, and I found jujitsu in December of 2017 and fell in love with that. Being able like, and that's with the control thing. Like it wasn't about like, it was like finding that strength and being able to like through time and like through that physical challenge, like I was able to boost my self-esteem.
That's jujitsu you're talking about?
Jiu-jitsu, correct.
Like not
And
hitting your
yeah, not
ex.
not hitting not
Okay.
hitting her. That
Gotcha.
was, you know, so like jiu-jitsu gave me like a sense of peace, like being able to go to class and like fight a bunch of dudes like several times a week, and not get any charges, and like not really have like any real anger. Like it was awesome to like go in there, and like now you're in a battle and you're playing a chess game, like attack the arm to like sink the choke, or you get thrown and you pull guard, and it was a nice dance. And when you do get to a point where you're like tapping folks, like it did help with, like, because I'm not a control freak, but it did feel like it did have that like there was like satisfaction. There was like, what am I looking for, the word, it was more of a, it was humbling,
Mm-hmm.
because like you can't train jujitsu and expect to win all the time. Like you're going to get tapped,
Right.
you're going to get submitted. And like jujitsu taught me a lot about ego and about surrendering the ego.
Right.
And that in correlation with counseling, like it really helped. And like I was able to drop a lot of my anger as I was training.
But like while boosting your self-esteem at the same time.
Yeah, like even getting tapped, like it didn't matter. Like I was able to surrender that control. Like it like, because I knew that I was strong, because like we're doing like 3 to 5 minute rounds, just boom, tap, okay, start over, boom, tap, start over, okay, I got you now, oh god, yeah, okay, let's do this, like, and so I was able to, like, I understand like the ebb and flow of like surrender, and what's the like, I don't want to say domination. Like that's not the word I'm looking for. Like
I know
like you,
that was the word I
a
got
synonym. I said cinnamon. A synonym,
Cinnamon.
but that's like lighter. So, to be able to display strength during the submission, but then also when you sink a submission.
Right, but doing that in a humble type
Yeah.
of way.
Yeah.
Not like a dominating them, but like in a
Like,
humble, I beat you, and it's still encouraging.
yeah, like you're still cool because you've learned something. Like every time you get submitted, you learn something. Every time you submit someone, you learn something. So it was great. And then I decided that I wanted to get really good at jujitsu, and I didn't. I was 280 pounds at that time, so I went to Vasa. I got a membership. I started doing their 6 a.m. classes. I started changing, like I changed my diet. Like on my own, I lost 30 pounds in like a couple of months, and increased my stamina, my cardio, my strength. And then I hired a trainer, and she really took me, like, because I signed up for a jiu-jitsu tournament, and so she really helped me make it through my training camp. Like I had 6 weeks to get ready for this tournament.
Right.
Really ready. So I was training 6 days a week, doing double days, like weightlifting in the morning, jiu-jitsu at night, just like really going for it. And while I'm doing all of this, I am not met with support.
Like from family and friends, or
from my significant other at that time.
Okay.
I was not met with support. I was belittled. I was questioned. I like was accused of being a narcissist consistently. I was made to feel like I was shutting out my family to create a life of lifting and jujitsu.
Mm.
Um, I couldn't do anything. I could not do anything correctly. Um, I couldn't do the dishes. I couldn't feed the kids. I couldn't take care of the kids. I couldn't like everything. Like I was criticized about everything. My sexual performance, my fixing the car, like cleaning the house, like absolutely nothing I did was up to standard. And I I feel like that was sort of a misery loves company.
Yeah.
And so I did my tournament and I lost both of my matches, which, so I got a third place medal because there was only three of us in my weight class.
Hmm.
Um, it took me a while to reconcile like that. I was like, I got a medal by default. Like I was really upset about that. Um, but now I display that medal proudly in my home because I put a lot of work into even be able to go and get and lose, But I did after I lost that tournament, I did go back to the gym I trained in and choke out the guy that won the gold medal in the weight class just below me.
Nice.
Like that dude, it was hard, but I darced that dude nasty.
Just like to prove to yourself you could.
Oh, I was mad. Like I wasn't done. I wasn't done until I submitted that dude.
Right.
Like I had his number that day. Like it was everything just sort of worked out too. I'm like, all right, dude. Like thank you for letting me choke the shit out of you.
He's
Because
like, anytime,
I
man.
didn't let you. I'm like, I know you didn't. Like I wasn't done until I choked you though, brother. Like thank you for letting me work that out.
Yeah.
You know. And like
Jim, he's into jujitsu and judo. Says no losing, just winning and learning.
correct. But so after that we started getting into fights a lot because I was telling her that I was like, just let me finish my tournament. Like I'll step it up. Like I'll do this, I'll do that. Like whatever it takes. Like I'll fix it. Just let me get through my tournament. And it wasn't quite good enough. Um, and again, she got me in. We got into a fight one day, and with my counseling and my jujitsu and my confidence, like it was really starting to escalate. So I told her, I'm like, I'm gonna get in my car and I'm gonna leave.
Right.
Like I'm going to leave. And she's like, oh, you don't even have enough respect to stay here. I'm like, you there. If I stay, I'm gonna wreck your face.
Right.
Like you're not respecting my right to disengage from this confrontation. Go cool down so that we can come back to this.
Mm-hmm.
And it just displaying that, like, that situation is what ended our relationship. She wanted me to stay and fight.
Right.
And I knew that I would be going to jail that day if I stayed to fight.
Right.
And
so
she ended the relationship and I moved back into, because at this time I had my own house too. So I moved back into my house, but
do you feel like that was the moment she realized she couldn't control you through emotional abuse
correct.
anymore? Okay.
Like that was the moment. Like it took me a while to figure that out too, but I moved back into my house. Less than a week later, I relapsed because I was missing my kids, and like there's a list of things that are the hardest for people: death in the family, loss of a job, moving, and did I already say death?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, end of a relationship, death of a loved one, moving, loss of a job, and basically I hit two of those like very quickly, and I relapsed. And that got really nasty. Um, I I got a DUI that week. Um, I did a bunch of drugs to a point that I thought I was being chased by people running a marathon, running through town. Um, Went and got my car, overamped behind the wheel, hit a parked van, and rendered my car undrivable. Went to jail. Um, Spent a couple. It felt like I was in there for several weeks, but I never made it past booking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was so high they had me
Right.
detoxing, and they wouldn't even give me a blanket. That was the coldest like experience, And then I'm talking to my drafting team and booking. They weren't there, and like just going through it, like fighting demons, and there was a whole series of emotions. And I got out of jail um, like a few days later, walked up to her house, but it was all over. Um, got into a really dark place after that. Uh, like I talk a lot of shit to my dog, but he became like my anchor.
Right. Yeah.
Like I had my drafting job, um, but my dog was the only reason I came home. Only reason I came home. Like every day, I wanted to just go to the dope house. I just wanted to go somewhere else and just get high as shit because I I was suicidal there for a while, and so I just would binge use drugs, like hoping that I would just die because I didn't want to be here anymore. I just didn't want to feel like I felt, and like my little dog, he annoys me.
He's pretty cute.
He annoys the shit out of me because he wants to lick my face for hours. But
He's a sweetheart.
yeah, he was my reason for living for a while. Um, I kept going to the gym. I kept lifting as heavy as I could manage. I lost that. I didn't lose that house. I was paying the rent. They sold the damn house while I was living there, told me to get out last week in November of 2018. So now I'm homeless, like in the middle of winter. Had to move back into my mom's house, into her basement. It was my stepdad's house. And so I lived there for a while, and then Cameron was having some issues at home, and so he came to live with me, and he's been with me, you know, ever since, except for like a couple of weeks. But I've just kept kept plugging. Like we moved from a basement. Um, I broke my stepdad's face one night. He was drunk, um, and caused a huge issue that ended with him going to the hospital, and me and Cameron, homeless, living at my sister's house in her spare room. Worked my worked my ass off all summer. Got the house that I'm in now. We moved into there, and we've just been going. There was some more trauma there that led up to the relapse um, in February. There was still work that I needed to do. I was trying to help my children overcome their trauma. I was trying to help them be okay. Um, And then one by one, I felt like I was abandoned. I have abandonment issues. Um, and so all of a sudden, I'm alone in my house, and a situation arose, and I ended up relapsing. And in that week, I had the most horrific experience of my life. Um, Hallucinating. Everything I'm about to say was a hallucination. I I met a woman in my house, and I spent 30 amazing years with this woman, like the most loving relationship I've ever had in my life, in a week. And during those hallucinations, she ended up dying by my hand. I broke the world with my voice. I've experienced an infinite number of eternities from beginning to end. Uh, like that was how far gone I was during that week. Um, During this hallucination, I set my oldest daughter on fire because she convinced my hallucination of Drake that he hated me. Like I freaked out, chased down the street by no one, um, shattered the world with the power of my voice, got put into a cargo net by cops, got put in a ambulance and put to sleep, reverted back to the source code of creation. Woke up a couple of days later. My sister picked me up from the hospital because I had to be medically detoxed so that I didn't wake up insane. Went to court the next day for Cameron, told the judge that I wasn't okay. And I was at SOAR that Wednesday and met Hawk, arm like just trashed, wasn't able to, just a bunch of misses, joined SOAR, and
This was February?
yeah,
Okay.
March,
so after.
Yeah, joined SOAR and have just been going hard, just staying savage, just doing absolutely everything that I can to help other people not have to feel like I felt, at any period of my life. And my purpose in life is to help people. Like I want to help people overcome addictions, overcome trauma, build healthy lifestyles. Like hell, I became a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And now I'm working on becoming a recognized life coach here in the School of Addiction Recovery. Working with LT and Felice for recovering addict, going hard on the Discord, going hard in counseling. Um, like my entire Audible listening list is trauma, psychology, leadership, parenting books. I love it. I want to be, it's what I want. I just want to help people live better lives, overcome their stuff. And I hope that my story and the things that I've experienced will, speak to somebody, and that there is hope, that there is light, but you got to work.
Mm-hmm. It is work.
No, half measures of avail us nothing.
Yeah, and you're such a good role model for your boys. Like you're showing them what a good man should be, and I think they're very, very lucky to have you, for sure. You just see how much they enjoy you when they come around. It's awesome. They just look up to you so much. Yeah, you're doing amazing.
Just don't be a pussy.
Yeah, like I never knew you pre sobriety, what I see of you now has just been amazing. Like, just your love for recovery, your love for your kids, your love for the community out there, and just the example that you set is very amazing. So definitely kudos to you.
Thank you.
I know LT would probably say the same thing. He says nothing but good things.
I just do my best. Like my boys first and foremost are important to me. You know, my recovery, you know, is right there. And I just like all you people watching, like, you know, if it's super dark, just, you know, people do care. Like you are not
See, same.
alone.
Mm-hmm. And just a reminder to anybody that loves an addict, there is hope. Like, don't give up. Don't quit encouraging them. Don't put them down. Yeah, you have to set boundaries, but that doesn't mean that you have to be mean. It just means you have to be stern, because their self-esteem is low. You don't know what they've been through. Like Jake's saying, he's got quite the backstory there. So you never know. So your words can do more harm than good. So just be careful what you say to an addict, would be my advice. But if you don't have anything else, it's our time to go.
Yeah. I just want to scroll through these.
Yeah, go for
real
it.
quick. Do. Studio is looking legit. That's right. We did some. We did that little backlighting down there.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I missed it.
Only thing we forgot was the note card and camera. I was like, they'll never see it. Oh, congrats, Chelsea. Just over 4 months clean. If you're still watching.
Oh, yeah. Good job.
Oh,
4
and
months. Steve
said something about he got to hand out 2 30-day coins today.
Steve.
Was it Steve?
I don't know. I have been focused on this table and focused on you so that I'm not reading the comments.
No, Josh Beam.
Interrupted.
I think it was Josh Beam.
Beam?
Somebody.
Grandson of Jim?
Yes. Oh, shoot. I was going to shout you out, and now I can't remember who it was. Thank you, Brendan, for watching, and thanks for cooking up all that bacon.
Who cooked
There's
bacon? Right there. Pacow.
There it is, Josh Beam. I know it was one of you. 2 30-day chips and one person with 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
That is amazing. It's got to make your heart happy. But there's a burger burn at work tomorrow, and he took all the bacon home and he's cooking it.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, he likes to smoke things. Meat. He likes to smoke meat.
Meat.
And vegetables and
pure protein.
And things. Let's shed amazing story. What a true miracle. Miracles happen.
Oh, yeah.
No card and camera was a test. Well, we'll pass it next time.
And he didn't have the cam link plugged in either.
Nope.
And then we messed with the gain. The mic, the gain on this one was super low.
Like, yeah, did you just messed everything like the whole, up and was like,
so meh.
Here you go, guys.
Got it. All right, family. So
Chip Wednesday, awesome, Steve.
Hell yeah.
Not yet, bud.
Let's do the serenity prayer.
Yeah. Where's John V today? He had a busy day, I guess.
Wait, where's Millie?
She's downstairs, isn't she?
No, that's okay. All right.
Where are we at?
Let's do the we.
Okay, yeah.
God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Amen. Okay, now.
Stay savage.
Here comes the other. Are you going to do the outro? Oh, what up? Twitch. Want to become famous.
Oh.
Spam.
Spammer.
All right. Bye, Big Brother. Are you doing the outro?
What was the outro? I
Stay strong.
stay strong.
Work your program.
And remember,
remember,
we
we
recover
recover
better
better
together.
together.
And a pause while we find the stuff because we weren't quite prepared. There we go. Boom.
Bye.
Oh,